for joining. This FairTalk is hosted by Fairpicture. Most of you probably already know us. For everyone else, Fairpicture is a platform for ethical photo and video production. We support nonprofits and impact businesses in local content production, content collection, and ethical communication strategy. If you're interested to regular updates or connect with us, subscribe to our monthly newsletter on fairpicture.org or follow us on LinkedIn. Before we start, some housekeeping notes. Please keep yourself muted throughout the call. As we are quite many participants, please raise questions using the chat. If you'd like to ask your question in person, please raise your hand. There will be a recording of this call available on YouTube later on. If you don't want to be recorded, please keep your microphone and camera off. Okay, welcome. We are in this exciting chat, FairTalk, number 13 of our series. We hold these chats regularly every 3 months. And this is about AI and ethics. For those who don't know us, Fairpicture is a platform for ethical and compliant content production. And today we have in our panel for this topic. Sorry, I'm going to briefly go into the timing for this talk. After a brief introduction, we will go to a panel discussion of 30 minutes. Then we will open the floor for questions and answers, and then wrapping up. It will take around an hour. So now, yes, I'm so excited with the panel that we have today. Iwona, that she didn't join yet, but we hope she's joining soon. She's a digital artist and marketer and advisor at ExtensityAI. We have Kasch here, founder of SightEffect, expert in AI-supported visual brand communication. Tanya Rey, that is product designer, AI consultant and educator, and 3D printing expert. And Natalie, Wang, lead of global outreach at Numbers Protocol and advocate for content provenance. I am Laura Abad. I work at Fairpicture as marketing lead, and I'm also myself a photographer and AI visual artist. So I will let you introduce yourself and briefly tell your approach to this topic of AI and when AI meets ethics. Who wants to start?
Thank you, Laura. I will start. I have already joined.
Iwona, I didn't see you. Hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Iwona Fluda. I am a digital artist and marketer. And actually, AI tools made me an artist. I haven't even known that there is such a thing like a digital art through AI tools until one day someone just called me out on social media saying, hey, you're a digital artist because you create different things with AI tools. It happened in my case by pure accident. I actually was writing a newsletter on LinkedIn and I really missed or like beautiful and engaging visuals for that. And I decided to just test some AI tools and start playing around with them. And in my case, actually, it grew up to an extent that, you know, I got clients through these activities. People asking me if I could create, for example, digital art collections for their conferences, or if I can teach them how to make actually digital art with AI tools. So what happened, you know, it really happened with let's say by a beautiful coincidence or synchronicity that I decided to continue this path and decided to continue exploring different AI tools related specifically to imagery. Nevertheless, of course, with all of that, I also faced different challenges. For example, many people, especially artists, traditionally understood artists, started to question my abilities as an artist and saying that's not the art, I'm just faking everything. Or also on the ethical level, I also start to ask myself, actually, where are all these pictures from that are being used for my art, right? They don't belong to me, they belong to the data set that has been created and collected through all around the internet. So there are many questions that I start to ask on the ethical sides of that. Nevertheless, I can tell you from purely efficiency perspective, I just saw a great improvement in everything what I am doing, thanks to digital art pieces, thanks to the AI tools. And the reason behind that is because I am extremely visual. So everything what I'm working towards, I kind of see the pictures sometimes in my head, sometimes I just draw them on the piece of paper. And I decided also in my different creative and business processes to use AI tools to create imaginary for me, so I can then take the advantage of them, benefit from them, and just learn from them and create something, for example, a strategy based on them. And since it has been for almost the last 3 years, I have been practicing both using AI tools for digital art collections, but also for business strategies and kind of creating different strategies. And here we're talking just specifically about the imaginary. I discovered that there are both ways how I had to navigate around that. So the one part was purely all of the amazing opportunities. Yes, I'm more efficient. Yes, I'm more creative. Yes, I'm getting better ideas than I can create on my own. On the other hand, all of the ethical questions I asked myself, and I was actually asked by different people, how do you navigate that? Who is getting paid for that? Why do you get money? Or why do you make money out of the art pieces that you are not the owner of? On the other hand, I also realized that, which I feel like it's even more kind of nuanced and and that's something that we need to challenge, is how much actually the AI tools are biased. If you would ask, let's say, ChatGPT and DAL to create a leader or a leader in general, most of the time you will get a white man in the mid-40s in a beautiful suit. Thankfully, Midjourney, for example, is much more diverse in their ideas, and they already bring different examples to the table, different examples of leadership to the table. But the other part that I observed throughout my journey, I feel like it's even more important, is the very danger of deepfake. And here I can share with you a story of someone that I know personally. She basically was working as the very successful VC in Silicon Valley, and one day she discovered that her pictures were deepfaked and were used to create porn movies that were distributed all around social media and also in the dark web. And what happened in her case, she lost her career. She couldn't go back to Silicon Valley working as a VC. She had to reinvent herself. And also what she did, she addressed this very topic of deepfake and how much our images can be used for absolutely anything in digital world. What she did, she created a company that actually fights against using our images for deepfake. And thankfully, she bounced back out of this, and right now works very successfully as an entrepreneur. Nevertheless, that's one of the topics that we always need to remember, is anything that we are creating or anything that we are even originally as our pictures, our authentic, beautiful pictures, anything that we are putting online can be used against us. And that's kind of the best example out of this. So to summarize how I look into AI tools, especially in this beautiful visual world, is that we should be actually both excited because it's a very useful tool, but on the other hand, we should be terrified because all of what we are doing can be used against that at any second. So that's my short input on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Iwona. It's very insightful. Per, do you want to go next?
Shall I continue? Hi, everyone. I'm Per. I am originally a photographer, but I founded SightEffect a year ago. And in SightEffect, we actually help companies, also NGOs, but mostly companies, to get competence in their visual communication. So that's where I'm actually coming from. I used also a lot of AI tools during the last 2 years, always from the photography perspective. And I realized that a lot of stuff that you have to do as a photographer, you also have to do when you try to get a prompt right. And the main important thing that I realize is you need competence, a lot of competence, because when we're true to ourselves, especially in our Western world, there is a lot of bias in all the pictures we see, especially in advertising. I mean, we are far from being diverse yet. In all the briefings, still you talk about stuff that you think, okay, I thought we overcome this, but you're still in the same old classic view. You know, you have a CEO male, you have a mother that is taking care of the child, there's no father, like all this stuff that you have in every briefing, it still happens. And this also happens to the data that goes into the generative AI. So if you really want to use it for visual communication, you have to be aware of that. And that you can only be if you have a lot of competence in that topic. The problem that I see a little bit is that generative AI is for a lot of companies, also for NGOs, it can have a lot of chances. So you have options, you have tools that the tools kind of democratize, because you don't have like very expensive equipment like 20 years ago where it was impossible for people to take pictures. Then you could do it through digital cameras, but then there was in parts of the world easy, but in other parts it wasn't. And now through the new tools, you have more access to these tools, but then where's the data from? So how can you use it actually for your storytelling, for example? And then again, what is in the data? If you prompt without competence or like deeper knowledge, how to avoid biases, it's pretty obvious that the data will collect like the statistically most used pictures again and again and again. Companies now think of generative AI as the perfect option to spend hardly any money on visual communication. So it's not about, wow, this is a new modern technology. First of all, it's a technology that saves a lot of money. So a lot of companies will try to get it within the company as fast as possible, and then they will use it. And what I see in my experience, the competence isn't there yet. So I think there's going to be a content tsunami of generic, non-diverse pictures that will come every day on our platforms everywhere. And so this is my biggest concern. I see the possibilities, I see all the chances that we have, but I also see this as a risk. So that's why I'm always saying competence is like, I think for me, is the most important part in this.
Thank you, Pierre. Yeah, that's a very relevant point of view. Tanya, do you want to share?
Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya. I'm a product designer. I work with artificial intelligence since the beginning. In the beginning, I was starting like a hobby and then become totally professional because I was totally in. I create products. I'm not so fanatic for create human, exactly for this ethical part. And for me, what is my concern about it is like how we are using all these artificial intelligence machines. There are some part of things like really, sometimes we think because the answer give us the machine, we take it as a true. And many of us don't question themselves. Okay, this is really like this. Before you wanna say this example about this businessman, but not happen only with this, happen with many, many things, with text, with image. Sometimes we think like the machine have all the reason, but we are not able for think about ourselves if this is the real truth. I work with artificial intelligence, but all the time I think like I don't need to only let the machine make everything. I need to really put part of the human. And this is the part like I would like to give you as an input. We don't need to take all the outcome for the artificial intelligence. We really need to mix it with the human, with who we are, and with our authenticity, with our person. I think this is what will give you really like your personal brand, or what can give as well personal brands for the different companies. For me, there are something about artificial intelligence is not only impacting the business model, it's impacting as well the social life. Because now it's something like it's there and we have it daily. The people ask to ChatGPT like if you are talking with your neighbor. The people use as well like the image generator like in a daily life. So sometimes we take like all as a truth, but we really need to take a look and have like a holistic view about everything and be as well criticized with all this data have the machine on it. Yes, as a product design is totally different, my input, because I think like sometimes we think, oh, this product is perfect for make the development all the product, and it's not like this. You really need to take a look how you can develop the product, right? And you need to have the knowledge. The same, I think, happen in many aspects. So let's take artificial intelligence as a companion, but not for setting all for alone. Let's really think and work with the machine in the same time. This is my point of view with the stuff.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Tanya. Natalie, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Natalie from Numbers Protocol. So at Numbers, our team has been working on the content provenance since 2019, where we utilize innovative technology to preserve the provenance and true information of all the creative work behind that. We want to ensure the transparency and trust are there for all the creators and all the viewers around there. So I think in the past 2 years, we have been seeing I think most of the individuals are trying and try to enhance that how AI has been increasing the efficiency in their work, how they can improve their creativity as well as an inspiration. But also we see quite some of the issues that Laura and also all the other speakers raises. And I think there are some few viewpoints that probably that you don't have as I working in a tech company, and I've been talking to some of the AI business as well. As you all mentioned, a lot of photographers or a lot of creators who are afraid that their contents has been scrapped from the internet. They are feeling being stolen, or they are feeling that they are being threatened by the other AI. They will be replaced. But also that there's also a worry that from some of the very ethical AI teams, as they would like to using more ethical content from their end. But they also would have worry that those content they license from the creators are how do they verify, how do they confirm, how do they get the real contents from the real creators. I think this is one perspective which is not often being heard by the creativity sectors. There are companies over there, they would like to have a very ethical data set, but how do they even reach to that amount of creators and that amount of contents into their AI? They will not be able to verify every creators one by one. But then is there any framework? Is there any business or any of the things in between that can help them getting more maybe non-biased, and also more ethical approach to getting that into it? I think this is one thing that's will be interesting to you all. And also there are business in between that they are nurturing ethical data sets as well right now in the market. Would be interesting to explore and also to share with you all as well. And I am well, as a tech company here in Numbers, of course, we are also harnessing the power of AI, which that improve our efficiency by creating as a small team. We don't really have many people or artists who can create the nice images for marketing for us. So I think AI does help a lot as well. But also that what the core value of here in Numbers is that we try to make whatever we do very transparent. I think later that there's a chance to also share how every images that we use, or how every tool, or let's say every image that we use in our marketing approach through social media, through websites, how we can showcase those provenance data through the websites. I think could be a very interesting things to if you are creators or if you are brands or you are the marketer who manage a lot of assets. This could be something that could be beneficial as it increase the transparency for your brand, but also that how you can credit and have a very great relationship with all the creators that you collaborate together. So I think that's pretty much it. But also as a side note, I work in the technical company as an advocate. My mission basically is to share what we have been doing and also to advocate the importance of provenance to anyone that I met. On the personal notes that I am getting into traditional oil painting. I think when around the work, going to digital in the work. On the other side is that in the free time that I go to very traditional, I like to paint on Canva, which is bring me a very different feelings or atmosphere. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I will hand back to Laura.
Thank you so much, Natalie. As we know, we are super excited about what Captura from Numbers Protocol are doing, and we will elaborate later in the meeting. I wanted to go further. It was super interesting, everything that you shared about what are the challenges and also the opportunities. I wanted to go further on how we can tackle these challenges. For instance, Fair was very clear on competence, and for instance, Natalie provides this solution, puts over the table this solution that brings accountability. But how can we also, how organizations and individuals ensure that the creators behind AI tools are both knowledgeable and also accountable? Because yes, you can see the creator, but how do you ensure, let's go, if Pierre has also the answer for this, how can we ensure the competence of the individuals creating the AI images? Pierre?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Did you ask me, right? I didn't hear my name because sorry.
Because maybe I'm pronouncing it very badly.
Okay.
you said competence.
Yes.
How do you ensure this?
No, I think the important thing is that we first of all realize that it's not just another tool and it's easy to use and that's done. You don't need any introduction at all. You don't need to think about it. It's like another plugin from Photoshop, which it's not. So you really have to understand how it works. You have to understand where is maybe the data from that I'm using now, especially as a brand. I mean, also for the personal use and also for NGOs, but especially for a brand, this can you can be very vulnerable if you just use it without actually understanding what's behind it. So I would recommend every brand, especially now with the EU AI Act coming into the next steps, that you really know what you're doing, because this can backfire fast. And I think the most important thing is that everyone who is actually using the AI tool within the company, within the NGO, or that he actually knows what he's doing. And right now, I have the feeling everyone is working a lot with it and trying it. I try to figure out how it is actually working, but I still haven't figured it completely out. I don't know where all the data is from. Even if I'm looking for it, it's hard because it's not transparent yet. Or it's hard to get any transparency. But I think just knowing that the data might be corrupted with data that shouldn't be in there, especially for artists, is already a first step. I think there again, you have to know what you're actually doing using these tools. This is for me like, and I don't think there is like a certain course you have to take or anything, but you have to start thinking how it actually works, what you're using.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much. I also want to go back to the duality that Iwona mentioned about being terrified and also very excited. That's an interesting perspective coming from the same person, like a AI visual creator. So we want to elaborate also, Iwona, on how we navigate this duality.
This is a very great question, but also a very difficult one. It's difficult to balance that, knowing exactly how, or knowing, a little bit more about how our data is being abused every single day anyway. So one part is, of course, on the policy level, seeing, yes, we have the EU AI Act, which is fantastic, but it will take time for companies to implement the acts, especially the ones that are actually sourcing imagery or knowledge from internet completely for free without asking us for the permission, or even when asking us for the permission, which is happening actually in the terms and conditions that none of us is reading. We are still not aware of that. I feel like that's the problem. We are not aware that anything that we are putting online, it can be visual content, it can be just written content, absolutely anything can be used for the data sets. And I feel like that's very important to be aware of that, and then being conscious how and what we are actually putting online. The other part, which I don't know yet how to solve, is really the abuse of the data. So it can be abused exactly in deepfakes. We had one case also some time ago where $25 million were moved between banks in the transaction, thanks to the deepfake. Actually, deepfake did that in Hong Kong. And what do you do with that when your company actually is losing money and losing reputation because of the abuse of data, right? The abuse of visual context or context in general. I'm not sure. I'm actually puzzled by this. I feel like it's difficult to find the balance here, also individually. I'm openly talking about this. Hey, I use AI tools for digital art pieces, and yes, I do it. And sometimes I get clients to create the AI art pieces and the AI collections of art pieces. And I'm transparent about this, but I know many people are not transparent about this. You could sometimes the quality of the AI art pieces is already so good that anyone else could actually do it, just with digital pens and digital practices. So sometimes it's just difficult to see what is really coming out of the artist as a one person, or what's coming out of the AI tool as, in the background with multiple people behind this because of the data sets. So I don't know yet, but I can tell you, if I find the answer to that question, how can we live in this kind of duality, I will definitely come back to you. I just haven't found the right solution or the golden, key for that yet.
Yeah, we didn't expect that at this point. That's the title of this talk. We are shaping the future of storytelling. So it's just about envisioning how we can tackle this duality. But yeah, we're still figuring out.
The one answer could be, we all should be transparent about what we are doing. Even companies putting press release that is written by AI, it should be written there, even in small letters, it should be written, this press release was co-created by AI or was created by AI. We should be transparent about this, about our usage of AI tools, and that would definitely help us to navigate this difficult
I agree, and also the transparency
environment.
Sorry.
This, that will help us to navigate this difficult environment that we are part of right now.
Yeah, I was going to add that about the individuals also asking for transparency, because maybe we are not very much demanding of transparency so far, but this scenario put us in the situation of being more demanding of transparency. If you agree.
Totally.
Thank you, Iwona, again. I get also the idea that Tanya said that is super interesting. If I can translate it into co-creation with AI, as you, Tanya, was saying, to put your human creativity on that, and that also makes a valuable impact. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, I would like to talk about the co-creation with artificial intelligence because I believe like it's not only writing and create the prompts or put like only image like already exists into the machine, as well as possible like create with our own pictures, with our own sketches when I'm talking about the image generation. I think they are like a balance for you about what information you give to the machine and what information the machine give it to you. And come back a little as well to the topic of transparency, like I think all is linked here. Will be amazing if all of us as well we have access to all this data for not for where is coming all this information, but as well we have the possibility for know which process we are making or which process we make it for the companies like we give this service. No, for example, when I give the service for create their own identity for the companies like I work with, I create a completely process when they can see from where is coming the pictures, where I put the information there. And I think this is as well what give you authenticity and what give you like a own personal style. So for me, artificial intelligence need to be a companion, but with all the input of the humans, because we are who have the feelings, we are who have this perception. And today, more than ever, the feelings and the humanity is more important like the machine, because the machines now are everywhere, are in our cell phone, are for sure like in our computer, but are all the time we are in this relationship. And for me, the relationship with the humanity and with the feelings and with the real, internal personal knowledge can be as well be a part of the artificial intelligence, but keeping like this human soul in all this image. And for me, this give you authenticity when you are not only using prompt, or when you are using the prompt as well, mix it with your own techniques. Is my point of view. I know like everybody uses totally different, but it's how I like to use the machine. I think like it's our tools, and the tools need to have a user, and the user need to be behind the tools.
That's a beautiful insight. Thank you, Tanya. I want to invite to speak one of our visual creators that is in Nigeria, Abdul. I don't see you here, but if you can unmute yourself and come to the floor. See. Abdul sometimes has some problems with the internet, but okay. Check. Okay, anyways, we have other also some questions here, and we want to prioritize our visual creators that were invited to this talk, and we are very interested on the perspective of photographers and videographers around the world. So if any of you want to raise your hand, you're always more than welcome. If not, we are going to the question. There's a lot of questions here. Let's go in order. Oh, there's yes, Diasa. Go ahead.
Hi. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, my name is Jigyasa. I work in the international development sector. And one of our major concerns right now is that in the communications team, we haven't explored working with the AI as of now, because we are, of course, concerned about the environmental impacts of it. We know how much water consumption it takes in order to use AI, as well as, of course, like the data infringement, as well as the copyright issues. But I'm just wondering, what are the ways wherein we can use AI to, let's say, either proofread or use bits and pieces of it in a way, like for the lack of a better word, for storytelling without sort of having to deal with incorrect data as well as these kind of biases. Also, one of the things that Pierre mentioned earlier was we have to be very competent with regards to the prompts that we are putting in. But my concern is that does that change the output which is coming? Because the data is the data that is there, like how does a prompt change that? So if you could break that down for me, I think it can be helpful. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any of our panelists want to answer to that question? Maybe the word competence was mentioned, so maybe Pierre?
Yeah, I try. I try my best. It's I think it's kind of tough right now because you have hardly any transparency to give like this. Okay, this is the way to go. For me, it's hard to tell you now that this is the way to go. I saw also in the chats there's a lot of question about copyrights. And there are, of course, companies that are big on copyrights, for example, for example, Adobe or Shutterstock or Getty Images that have a lot of copyrights within their image pool. And I trust that they only use their image pool that is copyrighted. So if you use pictures of them, then it should be fine. Midjourney is also saying, yeah, it's totally easy to use your pictures, but I doubt it because you have no transparency on the data they used. They give you like a free pass, but eventually you're going to be the one that has the problems. So there, like concerning copyrights, I think there's still a lot going on. Me as an artist, I'm pretty sure they scraped my profile already 10 times, 100 times, and I can hardly do anything about it because I have to accept the fact that my pictures are kind of online, and so they already used it. From the environmental perspective, I'm not really an expert on environmental. You also was part of your question was also how can I use it and not have this big footprint by using it? Is that correct?
I mean, that is a consideration, but I don't think there's a way around it. In terms of
Yes.
like, if you're using it, it's going to have carbon footprint. So
Yeah.
I don't.
Could I answer a little bit of your question so far? Because it was a long question, and I think this is like the topic where I can tell you something. Maybe the other ones can drop in with the other part.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other of our panelists that wants to comment on this? If not, we are moving forward with another hand raised from Max.
Hello, everyone. For example, about question to copywriting, last year I started work with some creators as a co-producer to sell their fashions, their AI images in a big market. And as I see that the big or small firms doesn't see different between real photos and these AIs. They want these products because it consists of idea of their brands, and they buy it. They don't need to something special, even if it's doesn't very perfect. They use it in their promotions, in their sales, because it's interesting experience for them. And for example, they use for low licenses agreements as they use for photos in different typical advertisements. And for me, as I see, last year even big journals, big films buy these pictures and use them, and it's very good for us. It's very good for people who use AI because it's new market. Every day, every week, I see personally that many people interesting about this, and it's like transform from original photo and digital photo, as I see. And even AI tools like ChatGPT, it's changed useful using Google, because in nowadays I ask ChatGPT and not go to Google. For example, of that, it's not a problem. It's transforming from one stage to another stage. Even NFTs use this technology, AI, for transport these licenses and give these licenses. It's normal, and cryptocurrency help us for sell it. I think that it's very perfect time in what we now live. Thank you.
Thank you, Max. So your question would be how to transform this, or is there any question you want to ask for the to our panelists?
I ask you. I want to ask. How do you think how AI transform our life in this year? Because it's very speedy, and it's very fast transform.
Okay, thank you. Who wants to go with a reply?
Totally, I can just comment on that. AI is everywhere. It's running behind the scenes in all of the different setups with our planes and trains and different, health industry, basically everywhere. But it doesn't mean that we still don't have kind of the power to guide these things or properly in a way that they will really benefit the society and not just harm the society. I feel like that's the main issue related to any AI tool, also in the creative industry, to use the data sets, to use and create systems in a way that it will benefit most of the people and not harm most of the people, as we had this historically with different technologies.
Thank you, Iwona. I will go quickly to the questions because we have many here. This was, she already raised her hand. How do we maintain authenticity in storytelling when using AI to scale our communications? There is a risk of losing the genuine human connection that drives supporter engagement. Maybe this is something we already commented, but if someone wants to add. I think there's also many questions regarding practical solutions to all these concerns. So maybe, yeah, is anyone speaking? Sorry.
No, but actually I would like to reply to the authenticity, because this is, I think,
yes.
because we have like storytelling is, I mean, it's a big, this is something to talk about, and especially authenticity. Oh, I hate that word. I always hate it.
Authenticity.
Thank
Yeah,
you. So there's actually a question. So there are already a few studies where they were testing AI images on with people and how the reaction would be. And in the beginning, it was like kind of, okay, I don't like it. I don't want to have AI pictures from the company, but you can tell that it's going, the reactance is less and less and less. So there's no question also what Max said, that there will be, the use will be there also for the companies. You have the chances to go with all the data you can also generate. You can be highly personal. But then, so you can address all the different target groups, all the different people, because you know a lot about them. So you can actually build the images for every person, where you think, okay, this will probably have the strongest impact brand-wise. On the other hand, you already see tendencies, I don't know, this is more like a feeling because we don't have actually studies on that, but you already see low effort content everywhere in all social platforms. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I get more bored the moment I hear artificial voice already swipe because I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm kind of urging for like authentic, maybe even wrong spelled stuff that I know, or at least it's a human. And we don't have any studies yet, but I have the feeling that there will be like a huge backlash on that because this low effort content isn't helping authenticity. Thank you. Isn't helping, especially not brands and all, especially not NGOs. I mean, credibility, which is like the major factor that you need to be authentic, especially for NGOs, I think even more important. You cannot just use like an easy way with AI images just to put it out to be visible. I think that won't be enough. I think we're actually going in a direction where you have to be more authentic than before, because everyone in this content tsunami, it's hard to be seen at all. And if you want to be like generic, you're lost in that sea.
So very interesting here. Yeah, I agree totally. Thank you for that. About many questions asking for practical solutions. I want to give space for Natalie because I feel that she has this perspective of problem solving many of these problems stated here. She has some solution. So Natalie, if you want to elaborate a bit more.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. I think there are also some of those questions that raised earlier, like one of the early audience mentioned about because of the afraid of like maybe there's a backlash on the brands by using the AI tool or AI generated images on the websites. I would say that I mean until right now there are still like many brands who are afraid of like putting out AI generated images on their website because there's unseen risk or threats that's over there. But I would say that the ability to be more transparent and trust is not about not to use AI at all, but it's about that if you are doing this, it's an ethical approach that you share. You mentioned that like the article is written together by AI and me together. Oh, this photos is taken by me, but then I use certain models or certain tools to edit or to sort of transform it. I think this informations would bring the trust back to the brand a bit. And also another things that I think there are a lot of photographers here in the room. Not sure if you all know about C2PA, but this is it's a sort of the alliance that's been joined by many of the tech company that try to increase the transparency for most of the visual contents. So like numbers, we are part of the members here that within our solution, we try to support the creators and the brand to have the C2PA, which information that right now if like on LinkedIn, somehow if you images with the C2PA ingestion, you'll be able to showcase the provenance data, such as like the creators and the creation times or the other information that to be shown. Same for like capture eye as well. The functionality or the meaning of having the capture eye is to be able to showcase that one thing. Of course, we need to credit back to the photographer who are taking the photos, and we are also showing that how this informations or like where this photo is being taken, when are the photos taken, or even any of the extra tools are used for editing the content. I think this is one thing that we are seeing more and more big tech company, even like hardware, like Sony, like though they are working on implementing C2P into their camera model. So that means that the provenance records are start from the moment that you're taking a photo on the fields until when you import the image into your laptop for editings and till the output when you are showing the photos on the websites, on the social media. I think the whole journey can be traced back to it. This is something that this journey that can be shared with the viewers is another level of trust they, as a brand that you can bring out to your audience. And there are more to, I think there are also like a lot of photographers, they are concerned their photos being scrapped online. So they stopped sharing their photos. They drop social media. They don't update their website at all. But then I think, and also they are thinking about this opt in and opt out of the data set. A lot of creators would ask me that, would I be able to opt out, or would I be able to say that I don't want you to scrape my data? Yes, you would have the ability, or you can take in a stand on that you don't want those scrapping. But then no one, well, I would say that currently on the internet, there's no way to prevent the scrapping at all. But you as a photographer, or you as a artist or creators, you will still need to promote and advocate yourself as a creator. You need to share your content online. Otherwise, how do you sustain yourself? But then I think as a creators, it's also important to put it out there to be more transparent as well. And also to taking a stand saying that, hey, I don't want my content to be scrapped, to be mining in a data set. So there are already certain tools which will be able to allow you to say that, hey, you want your content to be trained on or not. This is just help you to take in, let's say, your stand, your voice of that, but somehow it's still not stop it yet. But by how technology evolve, I would say that also under the regulation like EU AI Act, more of the AI business would need to be regulated, how their data set to be put out together. Then at that stage, your stance means a lot by then. I think this is some, and also I see questions that about the data set, ethical data set. I can share a few link after, or maybe I can also share with Laura that can be shared with the audience after.
We will follow up via email, and we can include the links that you. But I also wanted to ask you, do you want me to share our website, since we have just integrated the Capture AI, so you can explain it yourself as is?
Yeah, it would be nice. So just to share, I think like C2P is one standard, and there are more and more different organizations. They are helping both brands but also creators to how images used online can be more transparent. So what Laura is sharing right now is that Capture AI, which is a widget that our team developed. It can be integrated with the website directly, which also helping your images to showcase the provenance data. So right now is that you will see there's a small icon on the right bottom corner here when the viewers click visiting the website. Well, I would say like the Fairpictures that they have been like crediting the creators and where the photos being taken very like perfectly, but not all the websites are doing this. So, and then on top of that, Capture AI is something that's helping you. So on the images on the demo right now, you can see that the photo is taken by which creators, by what date and time, at locations, and also the records over there. So when the audience or the viewers are very interested to learn more about the image itself, they will be able to click on view more and then to see more further information about the images, or even the link they will be linked to as well. But also that it just to go back to, so Laura, could you go back to the images again, is that when it's okay. When the view more button, which can be customized into different buttons such as donate or collect. So some of the creators here mentioned about licensing. Maybe a lot of photographers previously they would go to stock image platform where they do the licensing. They provide the licensing of their images to the externals. Then I think this is another approach which can be taken through your own website. So if you are a brand agency or if you are a photographer who owns your website, then this button can become another way for you to license your data. So when you are making, you are actually binding a licensing contract with the image itself, and then the view more button becomes collect, that the audience will be able to licensing through the button to you directly. I think, and also if there's any NGO will be able to also utilize this button to see that how users or how viewers are engaging through those images used online, or then it becomes another button like donate, where they will be able to having their input into the organizations. So we provide these flexibilities over here to like to be customized to fulfill the needs for different industry or different stakeholders.
Yeah, it's super interesting. We are very happy to have integrated this in our website. Now we are over the time, so if someone wants has a last minute very quick question, if not, we are wrapping up. I think the information shared was super interesting, amazing. So thank you so much to our panelists. Just a quick outlook of what Fairpicture platform do. That, of course, we are very much invested in all this mission of making content ethical, and we do this through our platform for content production. We also take care of centralized management of informed consent. We do this with our app, the Fair Consent app. I think this topic of AI, personal representation, and all this has lots to do also with the consent topic. We also provide consultancy and support for content production, and we have an active community of organizations all united on making this true impact. And yeah, again, thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you very much to everyone joining and sharing. I see the chat is not only about questions, but a lot about discussion. And that was really the topic or the idea, to exchange and shape the future. If you want to stay in touch with us and keep follow this communication, because this doesn't stop here. This discussion is just started. You can follow us on LinkedIn. You can also subscribe to our newsletter. And you can also, if you're an organization and you want some support on ethical content production, content management, you can directly reach out to Aurel at fairpicture.org. So yeah, it was a pleasure, very exciting. And so thank you so much for joining. I hope to continue this conversation soon. And yeah, have a good end of the day. Happy New Year again to Natalie. And thank you for joining.
Thank you.